So it's me again. I have a second poem that I would love to share. I wrote it again while I was an employee at Southwestern Christian College in Terrell, Texas, a small HBCU, sorry. And I wrote it during the summer. I believe it was I think it was summer '98. And it was during the NAAC. It was some sports camp that I was a coach in, and we had a talent show, and I had written this poem prior to that, and I thought, oh, this would be great. I want to do this, but I want to see if some of the kids would want to help, and they did. So this poem is called "Some Things Are Difficult, but Not Impossible." And there were 4 stanzas specifically, one of Rosa Parks, Jackie Robinson, Dr. King, and Malcolm X. And so I had 4 of our children that were participating in the camp that month help me with this. And so I want to kind of set it up for you because it's really important. Remember, I believe it was the summer of '98. And as I would read each stanza for whichever person, the young child or the young person, one of our students, would come out on the stage and lift up a little card with their name identifying who they are. Read the second stanza, they'd come up and lift up the card to identify who they are. And we went through the entire poem like that. And then there was an instance where right before I would conclude the poem, the curtains kind of opened up. You know how curtains can open up all the way, but the curtain kind of just opened up in the middle of the stage. And out comes a young man in a white suit, button-down shirt, long sleeve. He had his sleeves rolled up. It was a white shirt and some black slacks with some shiny black shoes. And he's holding, he has a sign in his hand. And again, this is coming after I've read all the 4 stanzas of those 4 important historical African American individuals who have made contributions to something important. And here he comes, the curtains open, he has this sign and he lifts it above his head. And on the sign it reads, "The first African American president of the United States of America." When the kids in the auditorium read the poster, they erupted in screams and shouts and whistles and applause, jumping up and down where they were standing. And I remember we all just got goosebumps. We were not expecting, we knew it was exciting, but their response. And what's important to know is that every child in that auditorium were African American children. And that was 1998. If they were registered voters, they got to elect the first African American president in 2008. Some things are difficult, but not impossible. I want to share this poem with you. Let me get my glasses. Before I go into that, really quickly, every child in that auditorium, you had to be between 10 and 17. So every child, if they were registered voters, got to vote in the first Black president of the United States of America. Some things are difficult, but not impossible. This is what I say to those of us who want to quit before night turns to day. I remember when they could not sit just where they wished to sit until a woman stood her ground and dared their lash to whip. I remember when the diamonds packed blue eyes and blonde hair until he walked upon the field and hit the ball up there. He had a dream and dared to share it with those who wished to hear. He fueled the movement that gave us hope and helped us to think clear. And then there was he, tall and focused, who stood above the crowd by any means necessary. He shouted loud and proud. This next stanza was one that I would come in and bring after President Obama was elected. Elected as our 44th president, an African-American man who wrote and possessed an audacity of hope and charged, yes, we can. Some things are difficult, but not impossible. This is what I say to those of us who want to quit before night turns to day. Those of us who love the Lord, there is nothing impossible with God. And when it's time to raise up people, he will raise them up. And I think it's time for a lot of us to rise and use our voices and seek the Lord for his purposes and plan. There are many of us who were placed on earth for a time such as this. We are in such important times right now, politically, socially, racially, spiritually, most importantly. And I pray that we can all seek the Lord and figure out, Father, why am I here on this earth at this time? Connect me with your plans and purpose and empower me to walk in those steps with you. In Jesus' name. So, thank you. I hope this poem blessed you and the experience around it. God bless us all, and let our lives bless him as we move forward in these things together.